Chapter 884. At this time, Nataria gave Emma some steamed fish in vinegar sauce before she smiled and said, "Emma, why don't you try the fish? This is also one of my specialty dishes. However, I've not cooked this in a long time, so I'm not sure if it will suit your appetite." When Emma saw Nataria enthusiastically placing the fish in her bowl, Emma nodded slightly in order not to hurt her feelings. After that, she said, "Thank you, Aunt Nataria. You don't have to keep giving me food. You should eat first." Nataria nodded before she smiled and said, "All right then. Make sure that you eat more today. If you can't reach any dishes, ask Alex to take some food for you then." Emma nodded immediately. After that, she tasted the fish that Nataria had placed in her bowl. Emma could not help but marvel in shock as soon as she tasted the fish. Nataria's cooking was really delicious and amazing. The fish was soft, chewy, and very fragrant. Trump was also dumbfounded. He has never eaten such delicious home-cooked food in his entire life. Eating a delicious meal at home was completely different from eating a delicious meal in a restaurant. There was a warm feeling of blessing when a person ate at home, and that feeling would always keep a man lingering and hovering. This was the main reason why there was a saying that a woman must first fill up a man's stomach if they wanted to keep a man's heart. Trump felt that his stomach and taste buds had been completely conquered by Nataria's amazing cooking skills at this time. He looked at Viley with an envious look on his face before he said, "You're really blessed, Viley. Your mother's cooking is simply amazing." Viley smiled before he said seriously, "Uncle Richard, that depends entirely on how you look at the situation. For instance, I was suffering when I was away at college since my mother wasn't around to cook for me after I left home. Everything that I ate at college seemed tasteless. Later, I had to travel frequently because I was busy at work. At that time, I was flying in and out of the United Kingdom very frequently, and I had no chance to taste the food cooked and prepared by my mother at all. However, I've already gotten used and accustomed to the taste of her cooking. I can't get used to eating out at all. That kind of feeling is actually very painful too." Trump sighed as he said, "That's true. It would be easy for people to change from a frugal to a luxurious lifestyle, but it would be difficult for a person to give up an extravagant and luxurious lifestyle for a frugal one. Your mother's cooking is really very delicious. If I were you, I would no longer be interested in any food outside." As soon as Emma heard the cryptic meaning behind her father's words, she was not very happy. Therefore, she picked up her wine glass before she said, "Aunt Nataria, let me give you a toast. You came back here all the way from the United Kingdom. It must have been very difficult for you to do so. I would like to sincerely welcome you back home." Nataria hurriedly picked up her wine glass before she smiled and said, "Thank you, Emma. Let's enjoy this drink together." Emma touched her wine glass slightly with Nataria's wine glass. After that, she sighed as she said, "Well, it's really a pity that my mother isn't home now. She has been talking about you for so many years. She'd be really happy to know that you are back in Oris Hill." As soon as Emma mentioned Elaine, the expression on Trump and Nataria's faces changed immediately. Both of them knew very well that Emma was deliberately mentioning Elaine at this time. She wanted to remind them that this was her mother's family and home, and even if she was not at home now, she was still the mistress of this house. Nataria was slightly embarrassed and she smiled awkwardly as she said, "I haven't seen your mother in so many years and I really want to see her too." After that, Nataria turned around to look at Trump before she asked him, "By the way, where's Elaine? Why isn't she home?" Trump hurriedly replied, "She has gone back to her mother's house for the past few days. She will be back soon."